What if I told you there was a way to get your players to not request a perception roll every 5 minutes?
Could you not be yourself? For 5 minutes!
The way your party approaches overland travel and dungeon exploration is more likely than not inefficient and cumbersome without the proper use of these activities. If you haven't been using exploration activities in Pathfinder 2e, you've been missing out on a lot of this game system's core mechanics. And if you have been using them properly, maybe you'll still learn a thing or two in this video. My name is Pablo and I've run thousands of D&D and Pathfinder 2e games over these last 5 years. Today, I'll be teaching you how I run exploration activities in Foundry VTT and Pathfinder 2e properly. With this method, you'll be running smoother sessions both as a game master, but also your players are going to have a better time. But first, let me show you how exploration activities can be misused by a game master who doesn't know what they're doing. We currently see Valeros using the search exploration activity. Let's assume he walks forward and succeeds on his perception check, revealing the giant spider, who hasn't noticed them yet. "Can I raise a shield?" says Valeros, "to start combat with my shield raised?" If you as a game master would say no to that one, I think you're using exploration activities incorrectly. That's right, even though Sela is the one using the defend activity, you should absolutely allow Valeros to have their shield raised at the start of combat, even though they're searching. This goes for everything. Somebody detecting magic should be able to check behind a statue and roll a perception if they request it. Exploration activities should not restrict you or limit your exploration. But what are exploration activities exactly? I'm going to explain what they are in 1 second. First, you're going to need this macro and module for Pathfinder 2e Foundry so you can use them more efficiently. It should show up in your modules listing by typing in PF2e Exploration Effects. Make sure to install the module and definitely enable it in your world. Once you have enabled it, you can go to the compendium on the top right. Find the folder that says PF2e Exploration Effects and open up the PF2e Exploration macro subfolder. You want to drag that question mark that says Exploration Activities to your macro bar. Then what you need to do is have each player select their exploration activity by having them click on the macro and then dragging the exploration activity onto their token. I explain how to use this macro and more in my macros video that I'm linking right here, but let's move on to exploration activities and how to use them in Foundry. An exploration activity is something you do in the exploration mode of Pathfinder 2e. Basically, the player lets the GM know if they want to do something while exploring, and they kind of repeat this action automatically, and the GM adjudicates when this action essentially comes up. This way, a player doesn't need to request a perception roll or ask to look around every time they enter a room. As Valeros is searching in this exploration activities example, you request a secret perception roll before they enter a room. So let's rewind real quick to before they entered this spider room. You need to request exploration activities from all your players. For example, Valeros, roll me secret perception. Kyra, roll me a recall knowledge macro. Marissa, you can stealth for me, roll me a secret stealth check. And then as far as the rest of these exploration activities, we can talk about these later. Once you request these rolls, keep a note of what they roll, and we'll use these rolls in a little bit here later. This is what I call pre-rolling, and it'll be very useful to smooth things out for the next part of the adventure. Now watch. As the players slide into the room in their respective orders, you are now meant to resolve these rolls in whatever order you sort of please as a GM, and give them clues and hints about their environment. For example, Kyra, you notice that the silver strands that are surrounding you everywhere seem a little sticky, denoting the presence of an arachnid or multiple small spiders probably in this room. Ezrin, you detect no magic in the area. And Valeros, you notice what seems to be a huge figure at the top of the ceiling, like a grotesque, horrible giant spider. So you might just now be wondering why this works better than no exploration activities, and let me show you the alternative, the bad timeline. Yes, the timeline where Harambe got shot. Wait, okay, this is what it looks like without exploration activities. You guys enter a room. What do? What are these sticky things? Says Kyra. Roll me a recall knowledge. Do I see anything in the room? Says Valeros. Yeah, roll me a secret perception. Can I hide in the back? Sure, roll me secret stealth. It flows a little less smooth, doesn't it? Also, they can still ask these things. This doesn't remove player agency. They can still request what these sticky things are. Let's give another example here. Kyra rolls a horrible recall knowledge before they enter the room, and so when you describe the room for them, you say, you're unsure what these silvery strands are. They seem to be everywhere. Perhaps it's an ant keg infestation. This doesn't seem right to me, says Ezran. Can I roll a recall knowledge, GM? Sure. You need to let them do that. There's a reason these are secret checks. It's for you to kind of leave the mystery abound for the players to kind of figure out what they're seeing in their environment. Valeros moves forward and triggers the spider, having everybody roll initiative. Here's a couple of more things you need to do with the exploration activities. 1. Mauricio, who rolled the secret stealth earlier, can use this 22 for her initiative. As you set up initiative here, you can just have her. In fact, you can just click on these crossroad icons and her initiative will be 22. Also, I would be a kind GM and let them rearrange themselves to behind cover. As they are avoiding notice as an exploration activity, I would be happy to have them move back here and roll stealth with initiative, just so that they are considered hidden. Also, for scouting, you want to make sure that the effect scout is on everybody before you roll initiative. Is there a way to do this automatically? Let me know in the comments below. And lastly, after you've rolled initiative, you want to make sure Sela has her shield raised in the first round of combat, so that if the spider does go to attack her, she has that AC bonus. As combat has been resolved and the spider is dead, you should still use her earlier exploration activities to give them information about the environment. For example, Valeros could notice a hallway over here with his earlier 18 perception check, and now Ezran does detect magic in this spider's lair. At this point in time, it's time for you to re-ask for exploration activities, but if this is getting too cumbersome, or if people having to roll continuously room for room is too much of an issue, you can do it for them. Let me show you how. You can grab the macro called Group Perception Roller. From the Simon provided macros in the workbench, drag that to your macro bar and click on it, and it'll roll perception for the entire party. You can do the same with the Recall Knowledge macro, but be careful of using this method as it takes away a little bit of player involvement. It might be a little bit more boring for them. The other thing you can do is use the earlier exploration activities for the next room. Just play it by ear how often you want to request exploration activities and just use those numbers for as long as you think it's necessary. And remember that players can switch exploration activities at any point in time, but it does get annoying if they switch too frequently, so to try to gently remind them to keep one for a while before switching to another. But all of this really depends on the way you want to run your tables, and at the end of the day, the way I run exploration activities may not work for you, but you get the vibe, you get the gist of why exploration activities matter. I hope you've been enjoying this content so far. Remember to like and subscribe if you like it. There's plenty of more exploration activities to talk about, and even some house rules and homebrew things that I've done to make them even smoother. If I end up making that video, it's going to be right here, and if not, you'll see something else. Either way, hope you watch it, like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.